Ready, ready to get back home for certain and play a game. I think probably more than anything after the way that we lost that game last week and, the disappointment that was in the locker room. Much like it was game one. Good news, guys, we get to go do it again here this weekend. So, the guys are disappointed. They were, obviously. We're 3-2. A lot of people were disappointed in that. I think we've lost to a couple of really good teams, and I think we're a really good team that needs to get better. And we have an opportunity to be able to focus on that and get better against a very good Texas Tech team. But a lot of excitement on our end about being able to play at home for the first time in a month. It's homecoming. It truly is a homecoming when you've been gone for a month. It's nice to be back home, but sold out. A lot of excitement for it. Stripe the stadium, as we know. It'll be a good time for everybody involved. Special thanks to WVU Medicine and WVU Medicine Children's. We got a great relationship with them, but they're sponsoring the game, and they're a great partner for us to have, and happy that they're going to be a part of it, and I'm going to bring a lot of the kids over to be able to watch the game as well. So that's a heck of a deal moving forward. But Texas Tech is playing good. They're playing probably as good or better that we've seen since the first year that we played them when Cliff was there. When they played out here 4 years ago and and beat our tail, they were playing pretty good then. They were ranked and undefeated. Playing well together. That's what I see now with their bunch. So they're confident. They're playing well. They're playing hard. Playing together better than I've seen them play. As we know, Cliff's offensively always been about the same. Has the number one offense in the country, it seems like, every single year. Still seeing that same stuff out of their offense. It's just they've got a defense to match it, and their special teams are playing well as well. So playing really good together, which is why they're 4-1 and had a real shot at beating Oklahoma State at home. That thing went right down to the wire. Or they could be sitting here at 5-0 coming to town. So we got our work cut out for us when it comes to that. But I know our guys are going to be ready to roll. Like I said, the excitement of everything surrounding this game is good, and I think our guys will be ready to get out there and play. Wish we could go play right now. Offensively, mentioned it. They're, the one thing that stands out, their quarterback has really improved. Just saw him briefly in a few of the games last year when Mahomes was kind of nursing the shoulder or whatever he had. Shimonek went in there and played. He's a big kid that has a great arm, but I see a lot of improvement, fundamentally in how he's running the offense. They've improved up front. Really doing a good job with their O-lineman as far as the pass protection aspect of it. But the thing that's different, what they've been doing more than they have been, is running the ball. They got 4 guys back there that they're running the ball with. The amount of times that they're handing the thing off is more than what they've been doing. When you got what their philosophy of guys sitting back there throwing it all over the place, they can still do that, and they got 4 wideouts that can go, that are all very capable of being able to score any time that they throw them the ball. And you add that running game element to it, it's a different deal. So still doing good on third down. They're doing a great job with ball security as well. As a team, their turnover margin is as good as anybody in the country. Defensively, David Gibbs, he's coming into his 3rd year now. Know this guy pretty well and know what they're doing pretty well. He's doing a good job of getting those guys to play. They've been playing the same guys over the last couple of years, and they've been adding transfers over the last 2 years as well. Sounds familiar to what we started doing about 4 years ago. So playing hard, and they got a plan. There was a dial up a defense element to what they were doing over the last couple of years. They're not doing that. They're sound with what they're doing. They got a plan. They they're executing it very well. I really feel like they're led with their linebackers. Dakota Allen's, got a unique story, but he's playing well. And Jordan Brooks was a big-time linebacker coming out of high school that played last year for him as a freshman. Those guys are everywhere. They're typically always in the box. They do a great job against the run, but they pressure the quarterback and go sideline to sideline as well. Just to mention a couple of them, but they're playing a lot better, and it's not surprising because I know Coach Gibbs, and they're going to play hard for him, and has always done a great job of creating turnovers, so that's going to be a big thing moving forward. And then special teams, it's kind of interesting watching them. You can tell that they're paying attention to it from a schematic point of view, doing a lot of different things. But their punter is kind of an interesting story. The rugby deal, the Australian punter, I'd have nightmares thinking about the LSU guy after mentioning that in the press conference after last Saturday's game from what TCU's guy did to us and mentioning Brad Wing and then turning on the video, and then Texas Tech's got one of those guys so he kicks that thing everywhere, does a lot of good things with it. Don't know what's up with their kicker. Had an All-American candidate coming into the year, the Hartfield kid. I guess he's been hurt. He's only played in one of the games, so they're kind of searching as far as who the other guy is going to be. They've went through 3 or 4 of them, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. And, when you got good receivers, you probably got good returners. So, the Batson kid back there really does a good job on the punt returns, takes chances. Then does good in the kicking game as well, the kickoff return game as well. So just overall, it's going to be a good challenge for us, a good test against the team that's playing well, playing hard, and looking forward to getting a homecoming here this Saturday at noon.
Danny, your players talked a lot Saturday about needing to finish drives better. Easier said than done, but how do you do in that area?
Well, we have been, have we not? I mean, we've been getting down there and scoring touchdowns. We just didn't happen to do it in that game. They did, I'll go ahead and address it, they did a great job of pinning us inside the 5. There's nothing you can do as a coach. If that guy makes that kick, then I don't know what you want me to do about it. I mean, you want me to put a guy on the 1 and tell him to field the punt? I mean, then you guys have got to have all kinds of other, critical comments towards it. So that their punter did a great job. And, if, our punter needs to do a great job when he has an opportunity to do that. But the guy created 4 out of 5 long fields in the first half. You play against a really good defense, and you get backed up inside the 5, I mean, that makes it that much harder. So a couple of those drives in the first half stalled out. The two times we got down there, we didn't finish with touchdowns. But we have been doing that. So, I mean, I don't know what you want me to change. I don't want to change anything from what we've been doing. We need to finish drives better. And then the flip side of that, TCU got down there 3 times and scored twice. We got down there 3 times and scored once. In a close game, there's a difference there. So, in that game, field position, probably matters. 2 turnovers matter, and how you finish drives matter. I mean, those things were probably the difference in winning and losing. A close game, those things matter.
Dana, Walt Anderson can't comment on judgment calls, but do you guys ever put together plays at the end of a week just for review?
It's a waste of time. Not saying we haven't done it. I used to spend 4 hours a week with Leach coming up with these plays and writing a thesis on why we're complaining about it, and you send them in, and then the next week you got 5 you got to send in, and then you complain about it and spend 5 hours, and then you create the list the next week, and there's 6 plays on it, and then the next week there's 7, and then the next week there's 8, and the next week there's 9, and the next, where's it in? I mean, you ain't changing anything. So I don't spend time doing it. Now, has there been a couple of times where, maybe Alex is like sent in 2 or 3 of them based on the fact that he wants some, just a rules explanation on it or something like that? Yeah, we probably have a couple of times, but I mean, if it helps teach your players what the rule is and how you can improve on it, then we're going to get some confirmation from Walt. Would it make me feel better? No. Is it going to change the outcome of the game? No. So why spend that time doing it when we can sit there and coach our guys and prepare for the next opponent? I think it's counterproductive. I've done it in the past, and it's counterproductive, and I'm not going to change the way we're doing it.
Yeah, with Texas Tech trying to reestablish the running game, how much of it looks like what you did at Oklahoma State, and how much of it is very different from that?
I don't know. I mean, there's only so many run plays you can come up with. I mean, you got 10 personnel, you got 20 personnel, you got 11 personnel. We have all those personnel groupings. They have all those personnel groupings. The percentage of run plays with what the actual run play is out of those personnel groups is probably a little bit different, now than it was when I was at Oklahoma State, let alone what Texas Tech's doing right now.
And you mentioned in the past that you pay attention to body language of your team and so forth. What have you noticed since the end of the game Saturday to now? Good.
I think we got good leadership with some older guys that it means a lot to, that have been around here for a while. We came in, and I stand right here in front of the group on Sunday and kind of give them my 2 cents worth. And I mean, they were attentive, and we watched video and went downstairs and lifted weights and went outside and was bouncing around pretty good. They're excited about playing football. That's all you can ask for. I mean, the effort's been good. I thought we prepared for that game as hard as any group I've been around. Just the way we practiced and the way the meetings went, especially later in the week on Friday, the meetings and how we traveled and how they acted at the hotel. I can kind of sense sometimes disinterest, and it was nothing but locked in, ready to go, and couldn't be happier with the way they prepared and couldn't be happier with the effort that they played with. It can get discouraging when that happens and you just don't get a few breaks and you don't win a game that you had a chance to win. I mean, TCU played pretty good too, and they're a good team. I mean, they're a top 5 team right now, but we had an opportunity to to win and need to make a few corrections and improve in some specific areas to where when we're in that, it felt the same way after Virginia Tech, said the same thing after Virginia Tech. We're getting that situation again. Let's improve to the point to where we can win that game. We didn't, unfortunately, which means that we need to practice and we need to continue to improve. Probably going to be in that situation again here moving forward this year. And when we are, hopefully we can finish it. But like where they're at, we got a good group of kids that like to play and going to continue to work hard and compete hard. And as a head guy, that's all you can ask for.
Tanner, you've had pretty good success defending this offense of theirs over the past few years. How much of that, or does any of that, come from your understanding of that offense? And how much of it is Tony's scheme? I mean, how do those things?
Well, I can't take any credit for it. I mean, if I did, then I could say it about 80% of the offenses out there. It seems like in the Big 12, everybody kind of runs some sort of a version of how it all originated. So Tony's done a great job, defending these guys, and our players, whether it's scheme, it's not me, but whether it's scheme, whether it's Tony having a beat on what's going on, or whether it's our players matching up well with them, I think it's probably a combination of all of it. We didn't do very good 4 years ago when they were here. You know, they kind of got the best of us there with Davis Webb and that tight end that we couldn't cover, but we've competed hard against them since. But none of that's going to carry over, I can assure you that. You know, we got to look at what they do now. They've done some things different. They are doing some things different. They're in a much better frame of mind, so we need to be ready to roll.
When does it become critical that you get more receivers out there that are contributing other than just 4?
August 1.
So where are we at this point since we're really not seeing that production out there?
Yeah, I mean, can we go back to what I said August 1? And how many times do I got to continue to complain about it? I mean, depth is still an issue. It's an issue at receiver. It's an issue at O-line. I think we got some good backs that, for whatever reason, aren't doing what we need them to do. It was addressed after the game. It needs to happen now. To answer your question, it needs to happen now. It needed to happen 2 months ago. So we're going to focus on a lot of those second team guys to, you know, whether it's improve or, you know, grow up or, you know, whatever it is, whatever's preventing them from, you know, helping us win, we're addressing it right now.
Danny, you switched out your punter and kickoff guy late in that game. Were you looking for something different? What was behind that?
Well, Billy cramped, so I don't understand it, but he did. So that's why, and I was looking for, John's been hurt, John Young's been hurt, and has got recently, within the last week, got healthy. So that was good to, you know, and Billy was cramping. So I said, John, get in there and punt. And I liked his demeanor going in there. That was good. I think Evan's been doing a really good job for us, you know, but you know, going into that wind, I was a little nervous about 25 back there because 25 is pretty good. We had 25 corralled up on that first one that he got out to the 40. We had him dead to rights inside the 20, and he just stuck his toe on the ground and went. He pretty good. So I was a little nervous about kicking to him with a little wind that could have hung up there just a little bit. So we were going to try to squib it and kind of keep it away from him, and that didn't work out very good. We need to perform better. I thought Billy was pretty good. You know, he's hanging the ball up so high nobody can return the ball on us. I mean, that's very important. You know, our net's not as good as it needs to be based on Billy not kicking it what I think he can do. Like the first two was 47, 48, and then he hits a 37, 38, and I'm mad. But there's still no return, you know, so we're as good as anybody in the country at preventing punt returns. So I'm happy with that, but you still need other guys. I mean, if Billy's going to keep cramping, I got to get a second team guy ready to go. And I'm really happy with Evan at this point as far as just continuing to, you know, he's placing the ball pretty good. I mean, that's really helping our kickoff team a lot. Competition is always good. I don't care what position it is. So if it takes competition to improve performance, then we're darn sure going to do it at every position.
Would you be for or against, or at least willing to consider letting them take a look at certain penalties on like review? They can do it for targeting. Could they do it for other calls?
It's tricky because right now there's a big, you know, I mean the length of the game is too long, is it not? I mean, I think everybody would agree it's too long. And that's the problem with reviews. You know, we had this discussion with Walt in the meetings in spring, and, you know, we're like, they review too much. He's like, well, there's only 2.2 reviews per game. And I was like, there was no way that's true. Because I was thinking more along the lines of 10, it seems like. And then this kind of got brought up. So every time they review a play, TV won't go to timeout because they think that's the most interesting thing in the whole game, I guess. The suspense of, ooh, is it really a penalty, or ooh, is it not? They won't go to commercial. And so they sit there, and everybody's sitting there, and they're waiting for, seems like upwards of 5-6 minutes at times. And then they make the call, and then they go to commercial. So then you're sitting there for another 4 minutes. Well, what's wrong with every time they review a play, go to commercial? And if the ref has his answer, well, if you want suspense, then wait till the TV comes back and then let him say it. If you want the made-for-TV type situation. So that's very frustrating to me, and it frustrates the referees, but TV controls all this stuff, and there's nothing we can do. If you open it up to let's review pass interference calls to where we could be 1st and 10 on the 35 as opposed to 1st and 25 on the negative 25, I think we should probably review it. And we might all be real happy right now. But you start giving them the opportunity to do that, we're going to be there for 5 hours.